I thought he had an excellent performance.
Kamara got booked for us, mate. I can't remember that, if I'm being honest. And they had 2 bookings. I think Kamara must have pulled somebody back or something, But look, the young boys start for the back. The young Redvan came in last night and showed his quality. What a move for the first goal. Oh, sorry. Second goal, Bridget.
No, I was right. It was all there. The young lad, he was warming himself up for getting involved, and he makes he dizzied the fullback, absolutely dizzied him, and got a lovely cut back, marvellous stuff, great to watch, wonderful stuff. I had a couple of shots at goal. To be perfectly honest, one of them was going out for a throw in.
I think that was a pass out to the wing. If he meant it, was
yeah. But no, and by the way, he's very quick on the ground, very quick, and fearless. So he goes in and gets the ball, just fearless,
Right. What was you joined by Billy? Evening, Billy. How we doing, mate?
Good evening, Ox. No bad, pal. No bad, buddy. Yourself?
Hi, Billy.
Good, Billy. Well, we tend to reflect, and now that the dust settled a bit. It wasn't the greatest watch last night, but I suppose the boys didn't do themselves any harm, did they?
Well, it was just to give the fringe players a wee run out, I would imagine, Docs. I think that's what the thinking was. Obviously, we were missing a number of first team starts or first team picks type thing. So it was about giving the players that was on the fringes a wee run out, and obviously it was great to see the young bears, the young guns coming on there, mate, and getting their wee chance as well. And I thought the laddie that played up front, is it Uri Geller or something? What's his name, the boy?
Uri. Uri. I don't know how you pronounce it, but he scored a good goal, mate.
He did, mate. He did. He took his goal really well, I thought. He had a wee chance before he scored his goal, and he sort of snatched at it a wee bit. But listen, you can understand that. The boy's only a kid, but he's certainly got a big future, that laddie. And I was impressed with the young fullback as well. I thought he had a good game at right back. The laddie, Divine, mate, I never put a foot wrong, the laddie. So all in all, mate, it was about getting into the next round of the cup, wasn't it? Lovely job done. We move on to Saturday type thing, innit?
I think Billy's right there, Bridge. I thought that Ryan Jack strolled the game. Arfield was always dangerous. Didn't influence the game much in midfield, but he arrives late and threatens. Stephen Davis, well, he's Stephen Davis, isn't he? I mean, he does that against good teams. He does it against. He just plays the game in a different way. But for me, last night, my disappointment was for 2 wide men. Bridgeman.
I can't argue with that. I think Sakala didn't look as if he was actually on the park, if you follow what I mean, for a wee while. And Matondo, he's got all the pace and skill, and for some reason or other, he can slide past a man, but then he can't hold the ball at all. It disappoints. And when he gets into really good positions and beats his man, the next thing you know, he's leathering the ball 30 yards over the top of the goal, and coming from one corner to another. That's the kind of stuff he was coming away with last night at times. But he's got great potential. He's going to be a really good player once he gets a hold of himself for the other stuff other than the pace. He's got to be able to do something with the ball other than have the pace. But he was a man, you could give the ball to him and he'll take 2 and 3 men on. He was a man that was doing that last night. And him and Arfield played quite well together, I must admit, when Arfield moved up. Good stuff.
I just thought about the wide men, and any place in the pitch, it's your decision making, mate, and the decision making was poor. And I suppose it was highlighted, and you could put it down to Max Ruston in this fashion when they got their goal. I mean, it was a lovely finish by their player, but I mean, it was a simple pass to Leon King, and he fluffed his lines, didn't he?
Only by 30 yards.
Billy?
He did, mate. He did. I thought Sakala was actually Fashion was trying too hard last night to impress. That was impression he got. He's not his typical buzz bomb football, mate. You know what I mean? He's always on his toes type thing, but sometimes I think with the wee man, the lights on, but they're nobody in type thing, when he get the ball away for a goal and that type thing, like, and he's trying to force things. Maybe he's trying to impress the gaffer too much instead of just going out there and just being himself, like, Ox.
But I think the struggle with his lack of technical ability. I think that's his problem. I think Sakala has got things to offer, and he'll do things that's unusual, Billy. But I think our coaching staff struggle with the fact is that he can't. He's like Ted McMahon, isn't he? You don't know what he's going to do, and it's effective. Yeah, it's effective, but when he gets the ball in certain situations in the pitch, they're just looking for you to recycle it, control it, and move it. Fashion, he lacks that, and we all love him because he's infectious, Billy. Then Bridge.
Aye, he is, mate. He is. He's an infectious wee guy. You know what I mean? And listen, we can't knock his work ethic, Oxford. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing he does give you. He does work his socks off. You know what I mean? He's up and down, and he's up and down. Sometimes his technical side of the game, as you correctly said there, mate, could be better. With the wee man as well, and he does actually. You're bang on again, mate. He does actually remind me of Ted McMahon, because I remember a comment with, I think it was Ali McCoist and Roy Aitken were talking about Ted McMahon many years ago, and Roy Aitken asked the question, who was the most trickiest opponent you had ever come up against, and Roy Aitken says Ted McMahon. He says, I didn't know what he was going to do next. And the bold alley with his one-liners. He says, you didn't know. He says, I played in the same team as him and I didn't know what he was doing next. Which I thought was good, but I think Fashion's
very good.
I think Fashion's the same type of player, mate. But as I said, mate, what he does give you worth ethic, the wee man. You know what I mean? He works his socks off. We can't deny that.
No, he never had last night. I thought he was slightly better than Matondo, Bridger, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can't deny that. I think he was. Again, Matondo sometimes flatters a wee bit, but he does go in, and he's not scared of going in for tackles and things like that. I saw him a number of times running back, and I thought that was really good of him doing that, But sometimes when you're talking about Fashion, sometimes he doesn't know where the ball is. Because the ball's coming to him, and he manages to get a foot on it, and then all of a sudden he's lost the ball, and it might only be a couple of yards away, but he doesn't know exactly where it is, It's quite funny at times when I think about it, But you're right, he is a good player, but my goodness gracious, a Ted McMahon type of character, that's what he is.
All right, so I'll put it out there, and obviously we're going to hear from the manager, and then we'll put it out there to the people. I'm not having a go at the young boy Matondo. I accept that he's very young and he's maybe still learning, but we've brought him in with a fee, so there's pressure on him. And I think we're expecting more than what we're seeing, Billy. But is that right side of the jigsaw still an issue? We'll put it out to the callers, mate.
Aye, that's exactly a great idea, mate. That's what we'll do.
All right, let's hear for Giovanni, and then let's hear for you.
Giovanni, congratulations. The nature of cup football is get through and into the hat for the next round. You happy with the result and the performance tonight?
Yeah, happy with the result. Of course, you need to go through to the next round. That's of course the most important thing in cup games. And today as well, it could give a lot of players minutes who needed minutes, so to raise their levels of fitness. So that's very positive. And in the end, we already started with two youngsters, with Leon King and Adam Devine. But happy in the end. Yuri played as well from the start. Had a great goal. Could put Lovelace on and NCO and Stevens. So it's good. It's good for them to have the first taste of Ibrox. Will give them a lot of positive and determination to keep working hard in the academy to eventually play every week at Ibrox.
It was a wonderful moment, wasn't it, for Robbie?
Yeah.
8.5 minutes into his senior debut to get a goal. How much will that do for him going forward?
Well, I mean, it's fantastic for him to score when you're young. It's of course special to make your debut and to score on your debut after 8 minutes. That gives him confidence. And he already trained with us from pre-season, but we have a lot of talent in the academy, so we just have to push them and work hard. Not only myself, but the whole academy are working hard to give the first team quality players for the future.
Looking at your schedule, it starts away to Celtic, then away to Ajax, away to Aberdeen, and then Napoli here. It's some list, but let's talk about Celtic at first. That's a huge game at the weekend coming up.
Well, every game is huge against Celtic, and as you said, we're coming in very demanding weeks with a lot of big games. But the first big game is Saturday against Celtic, so we have to prepare. We have 3 days to prepare, so we'll be, you want to be involved in these kind of games, and you will see at Saturday, that it's a big game. So we have to be ready, and we take the next coming weeks, months, game by game.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, very honest. And Bridgeman, he has appreciated. We'll get the young boys playing it, and he's got a job today, and he's gave them that opportunity. Can you remember ever? Yeah, we've done it at the end of the season when we've played teams that away to Hearts. We've done that, but can you remember in a competitive game when there's something at stake, a team like that being put out in the park?
No, I can't. And there was just over 30,000 people. Official figures, of course. Just over 30,000 people there last night, 30,500. And I bet you nobody in the stadium, they might have thought, that's the kind of team I would have picked, But when you sat and watch them, watched how they played, they represent Rangers and they won 3-1. And by the way, their one goal was a complete and utter gift. Nothing else, just a gift. None of your players touched the ball. You couldn't get near it to threaten them. Just passed the ball right in front of the guy, a perfect pass. The guy chipped it, and the keeper just stood there, nothing he could do. That's how that was.
If I'm being honest, Billy, it was Fashion's best pass all night.
It's only time they got 3.
It was only blue jersey fun knocks there, so it was, mate. It was. I don't know what was going through the wee man's head there, mate. But to be honest with you, mate, credit where credit was due. The boy took it well. You know what I mean? And
it was a great finish.
He's even Big McGregor standing there, he knew, he just stood because he knew he was beat all ends up, but listen, it's one of the things, mate. It happens, you know what I mean? Regarding what Gio was saying there, he's obviously showed a great deal of trust in the fringe players, and certainly a real great bit of trust in the young laddies that he played there.
Are you calling McGregor, Jack, Davis, Arfield fringe players?
Well, they're new. It looks like it, doesn't it?
All right, interesting. All right, okay, I'll give you that. And
that's a big call, Billy.
And Glenn Kamara.
Well, listen, mate. Look at the team he's playing in Europe. I mean,
yeah,
you've got look at your back four for what he plays in Europe and what he plays in the league. That wasn't he playing last night, including the goalkeeper.
I know, but I'm just saying that Van Jack, Stephen Davis, and all the other boys, except they needed minutes and they've not played as much football as some of the other boys. But
yeah,
I think that's very cruel.
I think he's very hurtful to one of my heroes. Bridge, what do you think?
Stephen Davis will never go over that.
Listen, mate. I love Stephen Davis to bits, mate. I think he's a fantastic footballer, and I'll not be. How can I put it? I'll be sad to see him hanging his bits up because he's a top professional, top footballer, mate. You know what I mean? That you cannot deny, eh?
You just called him a French player.
You just called him a French. You insulted him. You insulted him, Billy.
Oh, it's shocking.
What do you think? What do you think, Bridge? Is it time for thanks for the call, Billy? Speak to you later.
Arfield is going to be Arfield, and he's a great player for the Rangers.
Have you told John Billy you've called Scotty Arfield a fringe player?
Oh, but he'll be listening. He'll be listening. I'll get the I'll get the knuckles rap talks. No, what I think is, mate, I think as well, it's we've got
Could we call them players that required minutes, Billy?
Yes, that would be more kinder, I believe. But I think, Ox, that it's a good sign as well, mate, because it shows that we've got a nice strength and depth now in different areas in the park in different positions, mate, which can only be good because it's healthy competition for the guys. It's obviously starting before them, so they know if they're not performing, then they'll not be in the team, and that's the way it should be.
It should. Bridgeman, when you look at the schedule and you look at the big games we've had 4 big games, the 4 European ties. The league's been okay for his fixtures have been reasonably kind. Obviously, Easter Road playing against 12 men wasn't great, but the manager got it right last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the manager's doing a really good job for me. I couldn't ask any manager to do better than he's done. I think he's just done an incredible job. I like the guy, and he's my first choice since we didn't have Stephen Davis. He was my first choice out of all the guys that were forward.
You mean Stephen?
Can't take your call right now. Just leave your message after.
You mean Stephen Gerrard, Bridge?
I'm saying Steve. Did I say Stephen? Did I not say Stephen Gerrard?
Oh, you said
Did I say Stephen Davis again?
Aye. By the way, if we wait a week, we might be able to get Gerrard back doing the boys.
Aye, could do. Could do.
I just think, in reflection, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think it was a good watch last night, Billy. The second half, particular, yeah.
That's my Huffton.
I've also know that I've had time to reflect and I think about the big picture, not the little picture of the game. I think the manager got it spot on. There you go.
He did, mate. You know what I mean? My Huffton puff in the second half again. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's one of the ones. You know what I mean? You're trying to get that third goal just to kill the tie. You know what I mean? So that's where the iffy bit was in our play last night. You know what I mean? We couldn't just get that third goal, but once that third goal went in, if that came earlier, you know what I mean? If that came maybe, for talking's sake, just before half time or just after half time, we got the third goal type thing along those lines, then I think you could have seen a completely different team again going on in the park. I'm sure that Gio would have brought in more of the youngsters and give them a run out as well, like nobody.
Anyway, we've been joined by Bazza, I think. Evening, Bazza.
Hi, Ox. Cheers for taking my call. How you doing, Bridgeman, as well? I've actually just come in the last 5 minutes, so I don't know what the point of conversation is the last half hour or whatever.
What we were talking about, Bazza, and I know that you'll know the answer to this. We can't make our mind up. What's the best Coronation Street or EastEnders?
Oh, it's going to be fucking...
Oh, Bazza, language.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's going to be... take the high road, isn't it?
Right, okay. Billy's went for Garnock Way. I don't know what he's talking about.
Hey, listen. Ox, I can't believe you said that, by the way. You must have read my mind there. I remember that. Garnock Way.
Right, Bazza,
I wasn't expecting that one, Ox.
The floor's yours, Bazza. What's on your mind?
I'm not really sure what you've been talking about. That's what I was asking, like, what you've been talking about tonight, because I've just came on the last 5 minutes.
I'm going to give you a wee guidance here. You phone in.
Right.
You ask us questions.
Sorry. Aye, I need to make the point, say it's acoustic. I heard you talking about, like, I'm just making that up now, Sakala, no?
Aye, what's your views on Sakala, Bazza?
No, I don't really want to talk about it. I would rather, being honest, I would rather talk about who the fuck, pardon me. Sorry. Fucking, sorry.
Oh, dear. Albert, how we doing, mucker?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Where do you stand in Garnock Way and take the high road?
Oh, yeah, I'm a Garnock Way, myself.
Right, okay, mate. All right.
Bear, how you
I never
doing?
thought I'd go on a show for somebody swearing, letting me
Oh,
alone.
unbelievable.
You've came a long way, Albert. We
Oh,
love
no.
Basil. We
I've
love
matured.
Basil, but we love him, but there's too many expletives. Yes.
Too many naughty words.
We love him. But on you go, Albert. The floor's yours.
I was just going to give my opinion of the game last night, which was garbage anyway. I mean, it wasn't a spectacle. First half, sort of all right. But the thing that really disappointed me at all was the technical ability of some of the players. I mean, some of it was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And I'm saying to myself, we need to work on. Some of the boys were all right. No, don't get me wrong. The young boys I'm talking about more about the senior players. I mean, that was £50,000 Kamara that turned up last night. I don't know how many times the boy got caught in possession, as did most of the team get caught in possession all the time.
Is that because the tempo was too slow?
Aye. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, mate. But that's for them to generate it themselves. They should be realising what's happening now. Or the coaches need to start screaming them and telling them, get this ball moving faster. But the amount of bad decisions that were getting made and people try to trap a ball and take it on the run, it was absolutely disgraceful. I'm telling you. And I'm saying to myself, what's happening here? Why are these boys, not so much, I'm not picking any of the young boys, they've got a lot to learn. The wee boy, the big boy up front, he definitely needs to work on his touch, that boy, but he's got the physique, which I was quite happy about, and I'm saying to myself, this boy might be a good player. But his touch, he's took his goal well, but his touch is terrible. He needs to work on that. He really does. As most of them do. But it's the senior players I was disappointed. Arfield aside, Arfield had a good game. He was trying. He really was trying. Davis is just, as you said earlier on, Davis is Davis, isn't he? I mean, you put him in the moon with a spacesuit on, he would just be the same. You know what I mean? Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But that was my big concern. I don't know how you feel about it, but I thought some of the technical ability of some of the players was disgraceful. And Kamara was really annoying me. See the amount of times he was holding onto that ball. You're going, pass the ball, son. Move it fast. Pass it. No. He kept letting them get to him 2-1 and 2 players at a time, and then it's a fight. He has the ball, then he's in a fight to keep the ball, then he's in a fight to get the ball back because they usually are at half him. You're sitting going, there's no need for all this. But I found the second half really, really frustrating last night. It was really annoying me. And I'm saying, Bridges pointed out, there's 30,000 fans there, by the way. I mean, that's ridiculous, putting a show like that on. But we went through. That's the most important thing. We went through, and people get minutes in their legs. Sakala, it's unfair, that wee guy. I mean, I think that's the first game he's had this season. I don't think he's had any minutes in his legs, has he?
I don't think he's played it. I'll check it out exactly for you now, Albert. I'll check when he last played 90 minutes. I'll check that.
I think we're doing wrong with that wee guy. I really do think we're doing wrong with that wee guy. If I don't like him, if Brian Broncos doesn't like him, and his backroom don't like him, they'll sell the boy. You should let the boy know and let him go and get a club. But see the way they're treating him, by the way, it's not right what they're doing. You're sitting going, you either play the boy sometimes or you don't. You just get rid of him altogether. Because, I mean, we're needing a centre forward and we're not playing through the middle. I'm saying, give him a chance. Just give him a chance. But no chance. I'm not going to give him a chance. And last year, the wee boy scored 12 goals. Kent scored 2. And we're all ranting and raving about Kent. You're going, the wee boy scored 12 goals last year. And we're saying nothing about it.
All right. Are you all right, Riser?
I'm all right, mate. That's me, Blue Pill saying.
Still get me, Robert. I take your point on the big boy. I thought he came alive in the box, scored a good goal. He's back to goal. I don't know if I would have to watch it again to see if there was contact for the guys behind, but I accept your point that sometimes the ball was bouncing a couple of yards off him. I think that's fair comment, Billy.
Aye, listen, he's a big grow laddie, isn't he? That's all he is. He's a big grow laddie. But he's obviously got an eye for goal, mate. That's one thing he has got, because he's been doing it in the B team. So, I mean, obviously it's a big step up in the first team, like, you know, and it'll be maybe the laddie was a wee bit overawed a wee bit, like, you know, we playing with 30,000 fans round about the stadium, like, you know. But if that's what the laddies want to do, and that's the road he's want to get down, then he'll need to get used to 30,000 fans and some, mate. You know what I mean? But as Albert correctly said there, mate, he can work on his touch, because his touch was just a wee bit out on occasions, mate. And like, you know, but that'll come. I'm sure if he's wanting to learn and he's got a cracking coach like Ronnie Mackay. I mean, there was the money better than him in the business for being a centre forward, mate. You know what I mean? So I'm sure the young kid will learn under his guidance.
Good
trying to be that young kid had 3 players around him at times when the ball was coming to him.
I get that, but it's still it doesn't matter how many players are playing about you, Bridge. If the ball's played into you and you get it, but you're back to
yes, you've got to pull it in.
You've got to control it and make the pass. It's part of that role, isn't it? You know,
I think that team who were playing Queen of the South, their defenders, they were actually pushing the boys sideways as opposed to ramming into them, you know. So they weren't knocking them forward. They were actually pulling them sideways, and sometimes, and then they're sort of bumping into them and he's falling out the opposite way to where the ball is, you know. It's quite.
Well, put it this way, Bridge. You see, last night where they were experienced full centre backs.
Absolutely, yeah.
The old pro carrier. I hope the boys learnt more last night's game than he has since he's been at the academy, because that's what he's needing. He's needing to go, this is what you're up against. And they're not even good ones, but they're experienced. And they know all the tricks of the trade, and they know how to manoeuvre you apart, get you out the way, and all that nonsense.
That's exactly what they were doing. That's exactly what they were doing there last night.
So you're saying to yourself, I hope the young boy comes off that part and went, I learnt a bit the other night, by the way. I know what I need to work on, and go to the coaches and tell them what he's learned and tell them what he thinks and see what they say to him. It shows that you're learning. But just coming off the part and going home, getting your supper and going to your bed and forgetting about it, it's no the way forward. It's that you've got to learn yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't wait for the coaches to tell you. You tell the coach, this is what I learned. Am I right here? Is it? I need to work my touch. And that's the thing that disappointed me, because I'm hearing a lot of good things out of Auchenhowie about the coaching and the facilities and they're brilliant and all that. So I'm expecting a bit more higher standard of technical player, no matter what age they're at, because they're playing in that lower league and they're playing in the B teams. And you're sitting saying, I'm looking for. Do you know what I'm saying? Am I right here? Am I saying it wrong? Or I just feel that the technical bit wasn't there. Sorry, having a bad game, but you can see my boy's technically gifted. And the boy Malik, for example, that boy Tillman. You know, you just see the boy. He's gifted. You see it. The boy's a player. And I'm sure that the boys that we've got, I'm sure they've got the ability. Well, I hope they've got the ability. But they're technical. They need to work on their technique. They really do.
The young lad McCann that came on, and the young right back is very similar to the centre forward, Ura Rooney. They need to work on their touch, because I thought the young boy Devine, smashing player, although his first touch was bouncing off his foot or his leg, you know. Not all the time, but at times, and it sort of ruins it for him, you know.
I thought the wee boy McCann, Bridge. I thought the wee boy McCann's a player. The other wee boy's a player.
Quality.
I think the whole game changed when he came on, because he's a midfielder. You see him. He's got a midfielder's brain. And the wee touch he done, see the wee touch across the area.
Are you saying
I'm awful sorry you said that. Are you sorry you said that? A midfielder's brain.
Is that what you're saying, Albert? Centre halves having the goat brains? Because
that's a given, isn't it? That's a given.
Thank you.
Shocking the Perrys. Shockers. A Perrys.
Well, put it this way: you're in the dressing room. You don't ask the centre half to give you a one with a crossword, do you?
What a shocker. I'll tell you. You wait till next time we're in the same company, boy.
Well, just a joke, mate. Just a joke.
Cut the orgies up into eights.
Aye, but apart from that, I mean, I don't think the young boys were getting any favours off the older ones. I'll tell you that. Davis no included in this, but I think Kamara and all that didn't do the boys any favours. The big boys making runs and he wasn't getting the ball again.
I think Kamara had his own problems last night, to be honest.
Kamara was to me last night, Kamara was too arrogant. He just thought I'm better than you. and he tried to go out there and show it. And I'm saying to myself, you made a complete fool of yourself. You're there to bring the boys on. You're there to get that ball moving to the young boys. And the wingers are not getting fed properly. All right, they've never done anything. Matondo, I just think he can't believe he's at a club like Rangers. He's not at the club. That's why I see that boy. He's just a know of the club. He needs to settle down. That boy, he really does need to settle down. And somebody needs to get a grip of him and say, look, we're expecting you on a one-to-one, take them on. But he needs to get that for the coaches, because I think he's seen all these patterns are passing, and it's confusing. He's going, if I pass it, if I just get into this pattern of passing, and all you really want that boy to do is once we isolate him on a one-to-one with a fullback, go to fullback. But he needs to be told, don't hesitate, go to fullback.
I'm going to say this again. That's time for a tune. You take a hint.
All right, sorry, mate. I never heard you.
Right.
Oh, Ben, you're going to do it, I'll tell you.
Right. There's a big picture and a little picture. The little picture was winning the game last night, Billy, wasn't it? The big picture is getting the boys and see how they react, see who's up for it, see who competes, see who learns for it, see who comes back even hungrier. And you don't know that for a bit of passage of time. I think the young boy King's got something about him. I don't think he did his greatest game in the performance. He got rattled a couple of times last night, gave the ball away, showed a bit of pace. I think he's got something about him. Yilmaz, young Yilmaz, Billy, that touch, he shows us that he's an offensive player. We don't know what kind of defender he is because we've not seen him under pressure yet. The boy Yuri scored the goal, and the rest of the boys done okay. Without Charlie McCann come on a cameo, can't I say he done fantastic because he was only on for about 15 minutes. He done really well in the time he was on. Big picture, we'll see how it develops. Big picture, the injuries, everybody got a rest because of the amount of games we've played so quickly, Billy. And now we've got another run of fixtures where everybody's had a rest. So ultimately, I'll be back to come his talking worth after you, Billy. The manager got it right, because we won the game 3-1. For us watching it, I agree with Albert, it was no classic.
Oh, it wasn't a classic. By far, it wasn't a classic, mate. But I thought the manager obviously did get it right, because we're through the next round of the cup, mate. We won the game. We've not got any injuries. Everybody's all come out it fit and healthy. So it ticks all the positive boxes, mate. And it gives the manager plenty of options going into the future, mate, and it gives them plenty of ideas regarding, as I can say, the players that's no starting in the 11 now, and also the young laddies, mate. But listen, young Leon King's got a bright future, mate. I think he has, Ox. I definitely do, mate. He's a big, strong laddie. Anytime you hear him getting interviewed, he comes across as an intelligent young boy. And he comes across as a young laddie that's wanting to learn, and he's prepared to knuckle down and work hard. And you can't ask for any more than that, mate. We all can see his football ability, his temperament. He's got a lovely temperament on the park and all. He doesn't look flustered when he's under pressure, mate. Obviously, he's got to give the ball away a couple of times and that, but you expect that. I mean, big Connor Golson gives the ball away, and he's one of our most seasoned pros, you know what I mean? So we're going to get that off of the young laddie, mate, regarding him maybe getting the ball away. But he's got a lovely left foot on him, mate. And listen, what he has got as well, he can kick the ball with 2 feet. You know what I mean? He's got a nice touch on his right-hand side as well, mate, which will be good, and it'll keep him in good stead for the future as well, Ox, because...
He's quite fitted, mate.
There you go then, mate. I actually thought it was more a left-sided centre-back.
Again, he's playing on the wrong side, you know. But anyway, when you go out there, in you come, mate.
I agree with the boy.
Before you go, remember I've got my work in the morning. Carry on.
I've no. I could keep talking right to 7 in the morning if you want. The boy King, I agree with Billy. He's got something. Disappointed that he got caught in possession twice. I don't like players getting caught in possession. That's bad, especially central defenders. Any player getting caught in possession shows a lack of awareness. That's just no... Apart from a winger's supposed to take players on. That's you understand if a full-back tackles him and wins the ball. But see, just getting caught in the possession, middle of the park, defence, no, it's criminal. It shouldn't be happening. just should not be happening. But apart from that, the boy has got something. He's a class player, and if he knuckles down and learns, he could be one of the best players coming out of, one of the best centre halves coming out of Scotland in many a year. So I do like that boy. I like all the boys. Don't get me. I'm not getting at any of the boys. I'm just saying I was disappointed with their technical ability. I thought they were better. I thought they would have been better than they actually were.
I don't think we can judge them, mate. I'll be really honest with you. I don't think you can judge them in one snapshot. You know, we don't see them often enough to judge them, and it's all about development. It's where they end up, not where they start. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens and who keeps involved with the first team, Bridger.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we want midfielders that don't lose the ball. Otherwise, that just forces the centre halves to come in and help them out. You know, we want them to be able to hold the ball, or at least hold the ball. And Albert will tell you that you've got to hold the ball.
Easy, innit? Holding the ball, innit?
Aye, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
centre halves will show you how to do that. Oh, don't worry about that.
Aye, that's because when they touch to get it, control it, rolls up their leg and rolls down their other, and that takes 5 minutes, you know.
That's time wasting, mate. Should be big for that.
Oh dear. All right. Okay. Tennis centre halves listing. We're only joking, by the way. We're only joking. Right. Okay. Right. Time to park it. Game's done.
And we won.
We won. We're through. The draw's tomorrow. We'll see who we get. Like anybody at Ibrox, Billy, it's done. We now focus on Saturday.
Happy days, mate. It's a big game. We're 2 points behind them, mate.
Aye.
I don't know what happened.
Goals.
Sorry, I don't even know what happened there. It just all went blank.
Aye, okay. Sorry. Just you're looking in the mirror, Billy. Don't worry about it. Right. Right. But aye, look, it's a big game. All better. Saturday isn't it about performance. Saturday is always about winning.
Oh, that's certainly. I don't care how we play, as long as we win the game. And that's the bottom line. We need to get the World Column points back, you know what I mean? I don't care. Honestly, I really don't care how we do it. We shouldn't be caring that much how you do it. I think we're more than capable beating them.
Question to the three is, you know, obviously they've scored a few goals in certain games, and you know, and that's the way they play. We don't. We play within ourselves. How would they get on against PSV in a double header, in your opinion, Bridge?
I don't think they've gone very well, because PSV could put pressure on you, and I don't think they react to pressure. Obviously, in the Scottish game, there are a lot of teams who know, you know, they just know who they're playing against, and Celtic are one of the teams that they don't play well against, and what's most of the teams, so it doesn't matter. I think that in their mind, they just budget for that, if you follow me. They'll just say, well, we're not going to get any points after Celtic, simple as that. And if we do, it'll just be luck. That's what I think. I don't think they would do too well against PSV. But what Rangers did against them was outstanding.
They're all about charging about like heedless chickens, maniacs, and running about with all this nonsense, high press and all this garbage. You know what I mean? The teams they're going to come up against know how to handle that, and if they play that way against some of these teams, they'll just pick them off. They'll not even be that difficult to pick them off. Honest to God, they'll slaughter them. Some of them will actually slaughter. See if it was the Real Madrid maybe 5 years ago, they'd have absolutely slaughtered them. They're a high press nonsense. If you're a technical team, you can run that no bother. We do it all the time. It's not that difficult. A couple of good passes, be brave on the ball, bang, you're off. And as soon as you're by the press, that's you through. You're basically through them. And it's just a straight running goal. And if your forwards are on song, you can take a few goals off them. Honestly, you can.
My problem is whether how we handle the starting again. But look, I think we've nothing to fear, Billy. I don't see it's a harder game than going to PSV, needing really to win, and we've done it.
That's not. We've went to better teams in Europe and got a result. You know what I mean? We've certainly not got nothing to fear with Celtic on Saturday, mate. You know, and listen, we all know what they're going to be like. Their full stadium's going to be up for it. They'll be up for it. You know what I mean? And they'll come at us all guns blazing, because that's the only way they know how to play. You know what I mean? As all bear said there. But we can play through them if we're brave in the ball and we get our into it, passing gun about, mate, and 2-3 touches on the ball, and we can pass them off the park. Because I'm telling you something now, we're a better football team than them, and that's a fact. And I don't care what to say, we're a better football team than that mob. You know what I mean? And if we can go in there and impose ourselves and do the right things in the right areas, well, we'll certainly get nothing to fear, Ox. Regarding PSV, if that was PSV and Celtic, mate, I'll keep this one polite. There's only got to be one winner in it, and it's certainly not got to be Celtic.
All right. Look, we've now changed the subject. We're now looking forward, no back. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You all right, Ox? Yeah.
He's on mute, I think.
You need players to turn up. You need players to turn up and Saturday, Albert. You need them to play, and players to have 7, 8s and 9s and be your whole team to play, because it's a big game of football. Always,
mate. Always. It's being brave. Maybe brave. And the other shooting ball makes no difference. No, I mean, that's the one thing I liked about Gerrard when he was there. You get into the Lions' Den, he went, that's no Lions, it's no real Lions, is it? It's just a saying. You're only going to play a game of football. You know what I mean? It's the way they put it. Oh, you'll be terrified. Terrified, my ring. You know what I mean? Bring it on. Bring it on. But if you're brave, and you get that sort of performance, a 7 or an 8, that'll be enough. I'm quite confident, mate. Quite confident and not being overconfident, put it that way.
That's reasonable. I don't see what's an issue with that, Bridge. We've played better teams than them. We've went to Dortmund and won. We've went to PSV and won. You know, we've had performances arguably in Leipzig when we've kept it tight. I mean, they're top sides, you know, and we never lost to Eintracht Frankfurt during 120 minutes. You know?
Yeah, sorry, Ox, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Apologies.
Billy?
Listen, mate, we know what we can bring to the party, Ox here. Do you know what I mean? Regarding football and ability, mate. But listen, we go there and play the way we can play. I fancy strongly, mate. I say that all the time. I fancy Rangers because that's the way we are. We go into games and we want to win everything. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's a game down the park or Rangers are playing tiddlywinks. We always want to win because that's in our DNA as winners, like, you know. But we've got nothing to fear. And listen, they can go and take that goals after this one and goals after that one. They've not been tested yet. You know what I mean? But they'll get tested on Sunday, and we'll see how good they are. And Saturday, sorry. They've not been tested yet. We'll see how good they are on Saturday because we will certainly test them. You know what I mean? And we'll see who where the chinks are in their armour. And one thing I do like as well, Ox, I've said it before and I'll say it again, mate. I mean, when you look back to the game, the first game under Gio, when we were all over the place showing night. I mean, I don't want to dig up the past like time thing, but what I will say is Gio certainly learnt from his mistakes. You know what I mean? As the other alternate fixtures certainly progressed throughout the season, going on to the cup game and that, because we just played them off the park. You know what I mean? So he knows what way they're got to come at us. You know what I mean? They'll know for a fact But whether, because they've only got one style of football. Celtic can, under that manager, they can't sit in. It's as simple as that. They just want to come at you for 60 minutes, 65 minutes, and then they burn themselves out. You know what I mean? So we'll be right enough on Sunday, mate, because we'll pick holes in them.
Aye. Albert, I think the team will be along the lines of the team that played in PSV. I think we've seen that last night. Hope everybody's fit. I don't think there'll be a lot of changes. It's time for new heroes, mate. Eh?
That's it. It's a difficult one to say, but the key is we're two wingers they'll get us up the park, and if you get them in the right joint part. Kent's done it before. They're terrified of Kent. They hate playing against the boy. The boy usually rips him a new one every time he plays against them. So if you get them up the park at the right time in the right position, I don't see a problem. I really don't. Feed that boy in the big Cholak in the area. He'll find the space. Feed him. He'll score goals. No problem, mate. Absolutely no problem. But as you say, once the game starts, it's that usual rabid way they start games and all shout and wait their cell and jump about mental. You know what I mean? They're going, calm down, settle down. Once we get through that bit, we'll be fine. And the usual, you know who they're going to attack. They attack him every time anyway. They're going to attack Barisic as usual. Barisic, if that wee frog-faced trumpet of theirs starts his nonsense, just deck him, man. Absolutely deck that wee frog-face. Know what I mean? He's a wee coward, I know. A wee ratty coward. I can't go that boy. I really cannot go that boy. It's time somebody sorted him out. It really is.
Oh.
Hello, how we doing, Billy?
No bad. Long time for a phone.
Aye, no bad. What's on your mind, mate?
Son, just this Saturday. I just feel that after everything they've done and whatnot against the lesser teams, I think it's all community. It's as much as what they're going to do and do to Rangers and all the rest of it, you know. I think it's all pigwash, you know.
I think that's the point that Albert's just made just before you come on there, Billy. Billy? Billy?
After course, mate, they like to mump their gums after into what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. I love it on the road up. I love it on the road up to the All-Firm games, mate, when we keep our powder dry, and we don't say nothing all week. I love the games on the run up to the Ox, because you know the Rangers players are all focused and they're ready for it. Do you know what I mean? And that's when we turn up big time in these games. But listen, you can mump them, as I said, mump their gums off all they want, mate. Listen, I couldn't care less what they say and what they think they've got to do. It's what we do on Saturday that matters. There's only one team that concerns me, mate, and it's the Glasgow Rangers and how we turn up. And if we turn up, there's only got to be one winner.
Aye, I told her the weekend. Sorry, she's like, I couldn't care if they won 20-0. You know what I mean? It means nothing to me, and I'm the same. You know, it just seems to they seem to be as if they've got their invincible jackets on and whatnot, and they're the best to fuck off.
What's your language, Billy?
Oh, sorry, I do apologise for that. I'm on slap tape. I do apologise. Sorry, guys. But what they're going to do in the Champions League, and they're going to beat Inter Milan and all the rest of it, I will laugh my head off when that comes in.
Aye, but listen, in these games, Albert, if you don't go with the right attitude, you can come unstuck. We know. You know,
we've done it last season. We've done it last season. Didn't go with the right attitude. So you go to, they're all experienced players now. All right, what do you call them? Lawrence and Tillman. I know this is their first experience of this, and Sholak. But the rest of them are experienced. They should be telling these boys. They've all been telling the boys. I mean, we're not saying anything that's not going to be happening. They'll be telling the boys fine what you expect, and they'll be jumping about crazy. You know what I mean? But once you settle down, hoof a few of them up the ring, and that's them settles. That clears the heat a bit. You know what I mean? Settles us down, and then we just start playing our football. No bother. No bother. As you pointed out, we've done it in harder grounds than that, and better teams than that. So we can, if we can do it there, we can do it. We can do it up at the Pedal Dome.
All right, we've reached that time of the evening. If you don't mind, get yourselves on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
Right. Can I say one final point?
Took a trip to Eyebrow, my favorite team for to cheer, where they were playing the Glasgow Celtic on the first day of the year. Now the ground was filled to capacity as the teams come out to play. The animals sang the soldiers' song, and the people sang Dolly Gray. Now half-time it came when the Glasgow Celtic were in the lead. Finian Tully was drowning everywhere, shaking his rosary beads, while the green flags they were flying high. Celtic hearts were full of pride. The second half, sure it started, and the Rangers, they turned the tide. Won't you play up the Glasgow Rangers? Oh, play up the boys in blue. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. We're here to cheer for you. Now the ball goes out to Walker, and from 30 yards he did score. Sure you couldn't hear your ears at Ibrox Park for the sash my father wore. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. Sammy Cox is on the ball. He slips it through to Willie Woodbarn, then offered to Ian McCall, McCall to Billy Simpson. Oh, here come the boys in blue. Well, Simpson beats the Celtic centre half, and then goes number 2. Now the Rangers fans are roaring. Jardine Young, he takes a free onto the head of William Simpson. And then goes number 3. Well, it's 3-1 for the Rangers. That was the final score. A happy new year from Ibrox Park. For Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park. For Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park. For Rangers beat the Fenians once more.
Hello. Hello.
Right, okay, we're back.
All
right, we're back, gentlemen.
Yep.
Just another question on Saturday.
Aye, on you go, Billy.
Do you think that McGillis will go on the bench? Aye.
Personally, yes or no. Personally, I'll go down the panel. I've got my opinion. I'll go last. Yes or no, Bridge? But
another thing is,
let him answer the question, Billy. Let him answer the question. Yes or no, Billy? Good, Billy.
No.
Albert?
No.
I think he will. I think he'll be on the bench.
Do you think he should play Arfield?
It's a no for me. I don't think he starts. I think he'll be on the bench. Billy?
Aye, he'll be on the bench, mate. Bench for me, aye.
And my final point is keeper-wise. Did you bring back Gregson?
I think John McLaughlin starts. No, he's my number one. Albert?
Aye, McLaughlin will start. He'll not do that. He'll not bring McGregor in. I don't know if he used, but I thought McGregor looked a bit frail the other night there. He looked a bit, if he's lost weight or something. He didn't look
You're a hard man. He was only on the telly once when the ball went in the net.
I know. But he looked, when he got his hammock, he looked half asleep to me.
You're a hard man. Good, Billy. Goalkeeper.
I'm actually going to go opposite, my mate. I'm going to say McGregor will start, and do you know the reason? Just for his experience in that Cauldron, eh?
That's what I would say.
I don't think Albert. I don't think it's a hope. I think McLaughlin's the number one now.
Well, if it's no McLaughlin, he's sending out a message, you know. He's not trusting him then in the big games. He's trusted them in Eindhoven. He's trusted them in the USG game. So I can't see him no trusting him for this game.
He played the semi-final against them, didn't he?
Aye, played the final, Scottish Cup final.
I've got to be honest. I think Billy should report to HR tomorrow because I think he's needing drug tested for that one.
No, Oxford. It's just I really do, mate. Listen, we've been wrong before. I've not had the team right yet all season. I've had the best I've got is 9 out of 11.
I don't think I've ever got it right, Billy, so don't worry about it.
Sorry to interrupt. I would take McGregor in for the start when it's against Celtic. He knows where he seems to come alive. One other point is I would take him around the bench. He seems a wee bit.
See the last 4 times we've played them. 3 in the league and once in the cup. Who was in goals when we won?
Aye, I know. McLaughlin.
Just put it out there. Albert?
McLaughlin for me all day long. I mean, he is the number one now. So as far if he's fit, he plays. As far as I'm concerned, and McGregor's getting the cup games. The way he's reversing it for what it was last year, and it's only right. In fact, I would actually say the boy McCory should start getting games as well in the cups because he's either good enough or he's no good enough. No, I mean, if you've got a 41-year-old keeper sitting there better than that young boy, well, there's something right with the young boy then, isn't there?
No, it's true. Well, thank you for your comment, lads, and all the best for Saturday.
Cheers, Billy boy.
We'll be smiling. I'm staying away from Glasgow. I'm staying in Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. All right, okay. All right, we'll maybe do a special on your love life one night, Billy. That could be a good show.
Excuse me. Hi, maybe aye. Right, beep.
Cheers, mate.
Right, thank you. All the best, lads.
Cheers.
You can do it on mine. But you need something else to talk about for the hour and 59.5 minutes was left.
I was just thinking that we could do that during the tune, Albert, no?
You do it twice during the tune.
I think it's got to be McLaughlin in goal tomorrow.
Aye, definitely.
I don't think you can stop the guys.
Yeah, no, listen, I've got 2 wise men and I've got Billy here. Billy, what's your ranking up for McGregor?
As I've said, mate, I hear Albert. I hear you loud and proud, pal, saying there he's played in the European games and that. But I just think in that Cauldron at Parkhead, McGregor seems to come alive in that Cauldron, mate. And for that reason, that's why I would start him. But I'll probably be wrong later off. He'll probably go with McLaughlin, but just for that reason, mate, that's how I would start Alan McGregor in that, just because he's experiencing that Cauldron.
I think our manager's showing people he's quite sometimes he changes his thoughts. So you think he's going to go with that one, but he goes with that one. You know, it's quite incredible the amount of differences of opinion, and yet the manager comes out and I don't think anybody's ever picked the right team that he's put. When I say the right team, the same team as the manager. It's quite incredible. Incredible.
I don't think there's any. I don't even think it's even up for debate. I don't think there's no ifs, buts, or maybes. If everybody stays fit, John McLaughlin starts, Albert.
That's it. It's as simple as that, mate. I don't think there's much conversation there. There's no reason not to play him, put it that way. Especially if you put your trust on him for the start of the season. He's the number one. It's just a fact of life, he is. Whether you like that is another question, I suppose. But that's what he is. He is the number one keeper.
I think we need to.
By the way, Saturday, mate, I tell you, Saturday, I was sitting next to a Ross County supporter on the Govan stand on Saturday. A season ticket holder of Ross County.
Right, okay.
So weird, isn't it?
What did he say to you?
Ouch. He was 80, so he was a year too old.
Right. That's all right.
I says to him, love you, Dave, you score, you don't jump up. There'll be a few angry bears running about you if you jump up, but it was a tanking minute.
What did he think? It was a training session, wasn't it?
I says to him about the scum and all, and he went, I says, they beat you 3-1. He went, it wasn't a 3-1 game. He says, they scored 2 late goals. He says, but it definitely wasn't a 3-1 game. I went, well, according to everybody, they're the best team in the world again. He went, far from it. Far from it, he says. I know they're beating them tonight, but far from it.
Right, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Right, okay. Well, I think McLaughlin. I'll put my team out. I think my team will be.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm. Go.
Right, I think it'll be close, if not exactly, to the team that started away in Eindhoven if everybody's fit. They were picking up pieces that Tom Lawrence has got a knock. If Tom Lawrence has got a knock, I'll contradict. I think there's room for Arfield because I can't see Matondo starting there. Scotty might start in a different position. You know, I don't think he'll play Sakala. I think there's maybe if things could happen with fashion in the next day or so, you never know. I just don't think the manager trusts him, Albert.
No, it's Sakala.
Right.
So you're talking about Sakala,
if everybody's fit, it could be the same team that started in Eindhoven.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I think that's the strongest team we've got at the moment. I think that's a fact. And it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad team. I quite like it, to be honest with you. The team, it's the exact, apart from one, it was the exact same team against Ross County. But I'm quite happy with it. They're in for a wee surprise. They think they're just going to run right up here. They've got this mental notion in their head that we're Dundee United. You know what I mean? Dundee United, 7-0, 9-0. I think we better get rid of the manager. Some genius throw that one up. Anyway, we'll definitely. See, I think Wright's going to play. I think Wright will play.
Do you think Wright could solve that position in the right hand side? No pun intended.
He could if he showed a bit more bravery. If he just showed that he wants the position. No bother. But he doesn't. To me, he's not got the desire, the drive for it. Don't get me wrong, Ken on the other side is not showing much drive and desire for it either at times. But it's the right hand side. Definitely he could do it. But they'll all play Matondo because we played that wee boy. Was it Dali up there last year? And that didn't work out too clever. Too young a boy, too inexperienced. And we're not going to get caught with that again.
All right.
I think we need to watch it as well because I think that both Wright and Kent are probably two of the most fouled players in the league at the moment. No matter what happens, they're targeted without a shadow of a doubt. Every time.
They're ball carriers. Ball carriers usually
absolutely.
You know the way they play the game. But listen, there is a chance that Scott Wright will start. I think Gio likes him. If he's gone on form, Billy, I don't think Matondo starts, does he?
No, I can't see Matondo starting, mate. Scotty Wright will certainly get a sniff, mate. I've just been sitting here picking my brains to see what kind of team I would play, mate. I'll give it if you want, mate.
Go for it.
You can shoot me down in flames.
No, you're all right. No, you're all right.
I'm sticking to my guns with McGregor in goal, Tavernier, Golson, Sands, and Burner. I'm going to have Lundstrom and Ryan Jack, and I'm going to have Tillman, Lawrence if he's fit, Kent and Kolich.
So you think Ryan Jack will come into the team after last night?
I just think as well, mate. See, when he's played, I try and look beyond things on occasions. Sometimes I maybe think too much, mate. But I wondered why he played him in there at right centre back. Right now, if we remember, we went to a 5 when he put Lundstrom in there as well to go to a 5. Now with Celtic's width and their pace, that could be maybe one of the tactical ways to help Borna out in that left-hand side. You know what I mean? Either Lundstrom could slip in there to give you a 5, or Jack could go the opposite way between Tavernier and Golson to give you a 5. That's my thinking, mate, because if you remember the back to the game at Parkhead, that's where they were getting all their success for.
I've got another tactic. I've got a simple tactic to nullifies that one, Albert. Keep the ball and have it up the other end of the pitch.
Exactly. It's no hard, is it? Just there. Don't keep the ball. Don't give them the ball.
I don't think...
The midfield's going to be... sorry?
I like Ryan Jack. Yeah, I think Ryan Jack's been a good player for us, but I don't think he's 100% fit yet. He's got a lot going on and he's trying to get his fitness.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought he strolled the game last night without being spectacular, but he got in a wee string to his bow, but I don't think he starts. I've been banged before with the team. Albert.
I think him and Davis will get a half each, to be honest with you, mate.
Ryan Jack and
What's that? Say that again?
I was going to say, you say Ryan Jack and Davis will go sort of 50-50 in the game?
Aye, I think so, mate.
But on Saturday, do you think one of them will start?
I think one of them will start on Saturday, aye. I think it'll be Davis, actually, will start.
All right, that'll be interesting. Well, we'll see. What was your team then?
Well, it's the same defence as Bully. And the was Lundstrom, Davis, and Kamara.
Billy's defence is insanity, mate. What's yours?
The man that played against Ross County.
Right, okay.
And on the wing is Kent on one, right on the other, Cholak through the middle. I don't think he'll put Lawrence and Tillman on that early. I think he's going to keep them and hold them back. Because you know that, Bob, they're a man-half team, you know what I mean?
All right. Well, I see what you're saying there, right? You know, you contain, but the trouble about containing, then you're always defending, Bridge.
You're putting yourself into that wee corner, and it's very difficult. I'd like to see Rangers come out with a team that played against Eindhoven, providing everybody's fit. I would like to see that the last game we won 1-9. I think that team would on that type of form, we should take care of Celtic, no problem, in my opinion. It'll be tight, and we'll sneak a 1-0 against them. Don't make no mistake. No matter what's happening, that team are very, very, very industrial, and it's certainly in the first half of each game, very industrial. That's where they do most of their damage. And then, as some of the boys have said, sometimes they kind of fall out of the game, you know, and it seems to die. They seem to die on them. I'm not saying they run out of steam or anything like that, but the game just it catches up on them, you know, and they sort of drop down. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll say this: that they need to be really, really good for the whole game. Rangers, I mean, really, really good for the whole game, like they were against PSV. That's why I want. Go out there, Rangers, and show them what to do. Show them what you can do. Don't give them an inch. Don't give them an inch. Not one.
No, listen, Albert, I get your rationale. You know, is it time Tillman and Lawrence and that? Is it the game to give boys, or do you go with the tried and tested? But I think they showed in PSV that we can stay compact, and when they boys broke, they broke with real intensity and go into positions to hurt teams, and I think it'll be similar, because when we spring at them, I think we can get chances.
Aye, absolutely, mate. It's any or, isn't it? What's their weaknesses? That's the one you'll be working out, because they've got plenty of weaknesses. So when you're starting to get a strategy, you start with the weaknesses of the opposition, and you work back to your own weaknesses. But they can be got at. There's no doubt about it. They can be got at, and that's the trouble with Scottish football. Nobody tries to get at them. They all try to contain them. But I just think we've got the players. If you've got them on the park at the right time in the right positions, you've got the players there. But they wingers are key to it. Kent and Wright are key to it. They need to have a blinder. The two of them need to have a blinder. And that's what we'll get.
As well.
Aye, and that's what will get us up the park, mate. That's what will get us up the park, especially the first half. Tillman and Lawrence will get you up the park in the second half, but they'll get you up the park in the first half.
Billy?
Then.
Aye, mate, I agree with Albert again, mate. That's the wingers are the key in this game, mate, and to get in behind that mob. You know what I mean? Because that's where their frailties are, and the wee pockets of space in behind their fullbacks, mate. Because they like to push on and they leave the holes. And Tillman and Kent are just the two players that holds the key to opening that mob up. And if we get them on their game, Oxford, and get the service into big Kolach, mate. I don't know what. I hope we don't isolate the big man. That's one of my only concern, mate, about the Rangers on Saturday, because if we isolate him, then you know what I mean. You're playing basically with 9 men, like, you know, because there's nobody breaking beyond him. There's nobody going to hook up with him. You know what I mean? You're not getting any service to him, and the big man will just get nullified in that position. So we've got to get our wingers in good areas and get good service into the box. And listen, that comes from Tavernier and Borna as well, mate. You know what I mean? So the service has got to be good for wide areas into the box for the big man to go in the end.
I think it's a good point, but it makes a bit Kolach. But I think he showed in Eindhoven, if I'm being honest, Albert, and the Bridge can come in hefty. He worked hard and showed a different side of his game, that we weren't sure if he had.
Aye, well, the boy's a worker. There's no doubt about it. He'll work his socks off. And he's not one of the guys that goes in a huff because he can't get the ball. No, I mean, you know, you get some of them just switch off. He keeps going and he keeps going and he keeps going. A lot of time for the boy, especially if you get the ball in the right positions. That's his big strength. And if you don't get the bottom in the right positions, you're taking a good 80%, 90% away from him. But he will work. That's a given. He puts the shift in, and he says that he says that himself in every interview. Just wants to work for the team. So I've no qualms about the big man, especially if you feed him. If you feed him, good God, the boy's going to throw plenty, absolute plenty.
All right, before we go to Bridge, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, so can you come, Bridge?
Yeah. It was Colak you were speaking about there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it sounded a wee bit like the things that I was thinking with Tillman as well. You know, Tillman's a fantastic player and he works non-stop as well. But sometimes he's got that wee lazy bit in him. The pass doesn't come off right. It only trundles, you know, that kind of. But no, I think Colak, a very honest player, very, very honest player. And he'll get you goals for sure. He'll get you goals. Yeah, he tries all the time.
I think with the way they play with their two centre backs, Billy, he'll be trying to pull them and move them. You know, and what he's also shown in Eindhoven is he was closing down constantly, wasn't he? He was working hard. Whereas at the start of the season, we weren't sure if he was somebody who'd wander about and just came alive in the box. But he's shown a different side at times. Yeah, when he had to.
Aye, mate. I think it was. Aye, mate. I think that was right, mate. Because I didn't think he was right up to speed either, Ox. Maybe that's what that gave us that way of thinking, mate. Like, you know, and he wasn't right up to speed, but he certainly shows a good work ethic too, mate. And he does like to drag players about the park, which is a good thing as well, because when he starts to drag players about the park, it creates space for other players, i.e. your Tillmans, your Lawrences if he's fit, your Ryan Kents, you know what I mean, to get on the ball in dangerous areas to hurt them. But aye, he's certainly he's not afraid to put himself about, Ox, and we like that as well. Like, you know, you need that for your number 9 as well. You know what I mean? You've got to, if you're just going to stand and, for talking at the edge of the penalty area, mate, you become predictable, and you don't ask questions of the centre halves. But if you're coming short and you're going long and you're bending runs in behind in that and splitting the two defenders up, mate, and bringing our players into the game, it keeps your centre halves and your full backs thinking, and that's what we want today, mate.
All right. Traditionally, these games are won and lost in the midfield, all better. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got to put, that's where the real effort gets put in. That's where the real work's put in. And if you take your eye off it for a minute, you'll get punished. So you need to be on it. That's what Kamara annoys me sometimes. When there's a runner, sometimes, most of the times he tracks it, but you get the odd occasion. Bigger Evil is bad for it as well. I just can't be annoyed this time. And it's always that time it hurts you, innit? It's always the one you don't track hurts you. But that's, everybody needs to track runners. Everybody needs to do their bit and don't fly into stupid tackles. You know what I mean? I think they'll target the boy Sands as well. But the Bank will handle it, no bother. I really do. But you'll need to be switched on. It's Big Lawrence needs to be careful because there'll be buzzing on about him. He'll need a horn. Definitely need a horn with the rest of them to pull their weight, because sometimes they don't. But I can't see them though, because they're starting to settle down. You can see it. They really are starting to settle down. All right, I've got a close over there with John B. Allen. All right, Alan, I think you've got the show, your TV on. Can you turn them off, please?
Is that me on just now?
You're on, mate.
Right, hang on, I think I just closed the channel down.
It must be you, Albert, that's done it tonight.
Right, is it? Wait, I'll just turn the volume down because I've got a Liverpool game on as well. Right, is it? Am I on the channel now?
Aye, mate, you're on.
Right, sorry, I thought I was still waiting to get up. Right, what was I going to say? It was about, I've seen folk talk about the team for Saturday. I think Cholak's got to start, right? And I think that boy will do well. I think he's settled in brilliant. I know a lot of people gave him stick right at the start and says that he wasn't going to be good enough and that. But the boys, I think he's proved everybody so far, and I don't think there's anybody can be unhappy with how he's playing. The next thing I was going to say was about Saturday. They would play Matondo and give the boy a chance, because if I've watched Celtic and they're good at going forward, but they're still open at the back, and they've just tested them at the back yet. There's not been anybody that will put a ball in and run through. Even Hearts had a couple of chances, but there's nobody test them what we can do. If only we don't do what Barisic does and get to the halfway line, stop and pass it back or across, or wait for the rest of them to come up. They need to play that phone football they did a couple of years ago with Gerrard. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay. I'll be honest, I don't think Matondo starts, in my opinion. Albert?
I don't think he's up to speed myself, but I just think gain chances. Like the first game he played, it wasn't Spurs, was it West Ham? West Ham, one of them games, it was actually not too bad. And he's got the speed. I just think he'll get the chances there, because if we put the ball through to him when they're all up, when Celtic's coming up to score their 10 or whatever they think they're going to get, we'll be able to go to the top of them or through the middle, and Matondo can run onto it. Him and Cholak and won the game for us about 3 or 4. and shut them right up.
I think Jolak plays Matondo, no for me. Albert?
No, I don't think he'll play, mate. I don't think he's no form.
I know.
Absolutely no form. I mean, it's not a game you bring somebody in that's no any form.
I'm trying to think who the Scott Wright could play this. He's quite fast and all, but see, between him and Sakala, I've given them chance after chance, and I watch out for them deliberately. And the Scott Wright's not as bad as Sakala. Sakala last night was just trying. You can tell the boy he's keen as mustard, but he was just trying, and nothing was coming after him. Every time he get the ball on that wing, you knew he was cutting inside past the first one if he was lucky, and the second one would either go to run or he'd trip or mess the pass up. He was just trying too hard, and Scott Wright, I think, does the same. He tries too hard, and either the ball just goes too far in front and he slides in to get it, either with a stupid foul, or he gets the ball took off him. There's not a lot of there's less good comes out of him than there's more bad, if you know what I mean. In my opinion, anyway.
Billy?
I can't. Hi mate, how you doing? I can't see Matondo start. I can't see Matondo starting, but just for that reason the boys have said, mate, because he's aye. No, I get. Listen, they're no doubting the laddie's his pace, like, you know, because he's rapid.
That's purely why I'm suggesting him ahead of, you know, if well, I don't know what the choice with the manager will be, because you know yourself, lads, he's changed that team round so much, and it's not a bad thing because we're doing all right. We're grinding out results when we have to, and then there's other games. Mate, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Right, no bother, pal. No, as I said, mate, I'm not doubting the laddie's pace or his ability, but he's just out of form, mate. And for that reason, I don't think he'll start. I think if there's anybody going to start, for talking sake, if Lawrence is no fit, I think Tillman will play in the number 10, and it'll be Scotty Wright will maybe be doing the right hand side if Lawrence is carrying it on. He's not got to make it. I think that'll be maybe the way he'll go. But listen, as I said before, as I said before, mate, I've been rang before and I could probably be rang again, you know.
I was just asking if you thought it was a straight choice between Matondo and Wright for the right-hand base, the right-hand side base.
I'll be honest with you, Matondo's for him, mate. He'd be lucky to go on the bench.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with you. But I was just meaning when he's asking the question or telling us, you know, you can have Matondo, and he can only play on the wing somewhere. I don't think he can play in midfield at all. But he's a tidy wee player on the wing. So it would obviously have to be the right wing because you've got Kent. That's the way I look at it. And it's between.
Well, we could play. It could sit on the bench even and maybe get a run in the second half if you know the manager sees that there's chance for somebody with pace to get in behind them. If we've not done it yet by that time. So. I just said, and how do you think these young boys, how do you think the young boys are going to take this, you know, especially being at their run where we've only got the 800 supporters, you know, what Tillman, Tom Lawrence, I would say, should be able to handle something like that, but just some of the other ones, like McLaughlin, I know he's got the number 1 spot now, but he's going to feel the pressure of being in Park Eden, you know what I mean? Because he's not done that, has he?
I don't think no for us. He's not done it for us.
No, that's what I mean. He's no been for Rangers in the goal. It was always McGregor in the league. You know what I mean?
He's obviously played there with Hearts, hasn't he? He's played there.
Well.
Yeah. Listen, look, traditionally this game will be better players than even McLaughlin and Tillman. Some of them have thrived and some of them have struggled, didn't they?
Well. Listen, I'll say one more thing and then I'll go off and let anybody else want to phone. What I know we've got to, what is it, midnight tomorrow night before the transfer window shuts?
I believe so, mate.
Do you think there's a chance that he's going to try and maybe sneak somebody in? Because when he was asked at the weekend there, or when we qualified for the Champions League, I think that Lassie asked him in the interview about players, and he said something like, no his words exactly, but he says, yeah, we've been looking, and there's always a chance. Basically, we could go for somebody. He didn't rule it out, no, you know. So You just wonder, is there a wee surprise maybe looking that we're going to be all happy about tomorrow night?
Well, you never know, Albert, because obviously Nico Katic left for the day, and that starts freeing up wages, doesn't it?
Aye.
It does, mate. It does, aye. Well, I don't think, personally, I don't think we're going to get him there. I don't think he was saying that. What I think he was trying to say was, if anybody gets any of our players, we need to be ready to replace them. That's what I think he was talking about. I don't think we're looking for anybody. Don't get me wrong, we're pleasantly surprised if we did, and it's the right player. But again, where do we strengthen? That's a big debate.
Do you think we'll get back into the Dutch market, Mer?
Well, we haven't yet.
No, but I'm saying, do you think we'll go back into it? What we're used to with when we had Dutch managers or Dutch players about us? Let's see that Veerman, was it last week? Somebody says he had his chance not to come to us, but I don't know whether he had the chance. No, he get the offer, or whether it was just something that was maybe put to the team, and maybe the offer didn't trickle into him properly. You know what I mean?
We'll never know if we made an offer for him, mate. I think it was just
because he's a good. But it's just because I've seen a few games in Dutch league lately, and the Dutch have always got good young players, even good older players.
It's one of the daily record. It's one of the daily record stories, mate. Rangers are interested in a player. Now, when the player doesn't come to us, which we weren't interested in anyway, Rangers lose out on the player they wanted. And you're going, they're making up stories and then answering their own questions. And what nonsense, lots more garbage.
Oh, you don't need to tell me about the press, because I've got as much faith in them as I have the flaming media, the BBC, you know, with their news.
Don't mention
that's a whole different subject. But
you're
not allowed to mention any of that, pal.
Oh, Mrs. Bridges told me we're not allowed to talk about that.
What is this, YouTube rules and stuff?
No, it's
Bridge, man.
Mrs.
Right, lads, listen, I'll go and let anybody else that want to talk to you. Thanks for taking the call. And
no problem,
listen, I just hope we're all happy as hell on Saturday.
The person you called is not available.
Oh, carry on.
I thought I was getting to laugh.
No, not at all, mate. Speak to you soon, mate, all right?
Right, thanks. Right, lads.
Cheers.
Good night.
Cheers, pal.
See you later, mate.
See you later, pal.
Well done. Excitable.
So,
yes, mate.
I'll tell you, mate. Well, just that was a good point. The caller just put on there about before the transfer window shuts. Right now, I've been keeping a wee eye on the Dutch league, on the Dutch league, mate. Right, and I mentioned the guy's name before the season started, and he's a Greek internationalist, mate. He's only 23, Palvidis, right? He's only 23-year-old, and I think he's running valued about £3 million, right? And his goal average is tremendous. He plays with AZ Alkmaar, mate. And I just had a wee look there. He's played 3 games this season so far, and he's scored 2 already. That guy's going to be a player and a half, mate. And he's got 2 good feet, and he's good in there. So if we're maybe talking about going for a striker, mate, we could do a lot worse than throw £2 or £3 million at a 23-year-old, mate, that's proven in the Dutch league, mate.
I think for us to sign a striker, one of our strikers would have to go. Morelos, Sakala, Roof, mate. I think if you say, well, we've got 5 strikers here. Roof's coming back, Morelos is coming back, Sakala's fit. I think there would have to be somebody you go out. I don't know what you think, Albert.
Aye, I think as well, mate. It's just disappointing they're all injured, but there's no point in bringing in a striker and they all get fit and stay, and you're going, well, how do we play all these players? And who's going to come? By the way, you said this before. I think it was yourself or in a few shows. Who's going to come knowing fine well you're not going to be first or second choice striker? You're not going to nobody's going to be interested in that. Especially if you're any international ambitions or try to play in the World Cup. You've got to factor that in as well. People want to move clubs at the moment so they can get games to play and prove to the international managers they're ready for the World Cup. So I can't see us signing a striker. It doesn't make any... Unless Morelos goes, unless Roof goes, I can see signing one then. But,
fair enough. I think the one who's got a chance of maybe going is maybe Sakala.
I don't even think Sakala's a striker, mate. He never plays him as a striker.
We signed him as a striker, didn't we?
Well, Gerrard said he would turn him into a centre forward. That's what he said to him to get me signed. I think he was always a winger, but he said he wanted to make him a centre forward.
Well, he might need a centre forward, so you can have him if he wants.
They get beat again tonight.
Was he thinking along the lines of replacement for Jermaine Defoe when he was talking to Gerrard? I mean,
maybe when but I mean, Sakala's enthusiasm, and he does some brilliant things, but the boss never under control. It's just as we discussed earlier on. But maybe we will, but no one is sort of four there, mate. No one is four there. I just can't see it.
One of the things as well, Oxford, we need to remember as well, that it's trying to keep Big Roof fit. You know what I mean? The big man's been out injured more than he's been fit. So when you take that into consideration as well, mate, if you've got a fit Alfredo and a fit Kovacs, you've only got two spearheads there up top, mate. Eh?
I think we can forget about keeping Roof fit. I think that's that ship's sailed. He's never going to be fit. He's going to get fit, but he's not going to last. I think we just need to set the kettle on for that one and just say that's the way it's going to be with this boy. So the sooner we get rid of him, the better. Morel's a different kettle of fish. He just kept shoveling stuff in his pie hole before when he was injured. He could come back in better shape. So I mean, it's ridiculous. It's unprofessional what the boy done. But that's put aside. But you've got him on the books. It's supposed to change these attitudes, which shouldn't have needed change, in my opinion. But anyway, he's changed his attitude, and he's going to be fit soon. But the next 4 weeks, or the next 4 games, 5 games, can make or break our season, guy. You're looking at it and going, I want you fit now. Same as we're getting to the UEFA Cup final, Scottish Cup final. You want them fit then. You don't want them in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You want them fit now. Why are they not fit? And I still don't know what's wrong with that Roof. What is wrong with him? They never tell you what injury it is. Just he's injured. That's all you get. But anyway, I don't see him staying. I think Van Bronckhorst will get him off the books as quickly as possible.
Well, who's signing him, mate?
Exactly. But I think they'll just terminate his contract, mate. There's no point at having him there. It's just no point to it. If he's always going to be sitting in a treatment table.
I wasn't frustrated. Injuries and bad luck are part of the game. What frustrated me with Kima, because his track record, which it's not quite as bad as sometimes it's made out, but it's became bad in the last maybe 6 months for us when he decided to play international football. Now that's his choice, but we've paid a heavy price for it. Bridgman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And one of the questions following on from what you're saying, when are you going to release him? It can only be in the new year. Can't release him now. Nobody's going to take him now. So it needs to be a build-up. So you're going to have to either have him hanging on, or get him fit and play him for the next 4 or 5 months. You know, I don't know how else. Or is he in a longer contract? You can maybe keep him going until the end of the season again.
When they signed it 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know if it was in a 4 year or a 3 years. You see,
4 year deal, mate. 4 years.
So he's got another season to go. On top of this one, you know, 2 seasons to go.
Don't get me wrong. When he's fit and on it, he's a good player. I like the guy. He's a good goal scorer. But we keep saying it. It's not even a good goal scorer, but you're not going to be a good goal scorer sitting in the stand. But there you go. That's the way the situation panned out. I think it cost us the UEFA Cup last year. And it's going to cost us again if we're not careful. I think we waited too long to sort all this out. We sorted out months ago.
Maybe
34. Sorry, Ox. 30. Cheers, mate. 34 goals.
You want one of these teeth? Fox always leaves us
a bit. I thought it was Jive Bunny there. I thought it was that Jive Bunny.
Cheers, mate. I love you too. 34 goals in 72 appearances, Big Kemar Roof. And that's...
He's a player. I think there's no arguing. He's a player.
Try to keep him fit, but innit? That's
it, mate. Yeah. We're all saying the same thing. We're not coming up with anything new, but it's just frustrating. It's when you need them, and we never seem to get them when we need them.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, mate. It's difficult because to bring somebody in at this moment in time who was going to improve their squad or their first team. They'd maybe a better player than Kovac and Morelos. How to get him for Bridge?
Well, you need to go all over the world to get these players. And in my opinion, as you probably all well know, Morelos, get that man fit, get him slimmed down and fit, and you've got one of the best players in the European football. He's a marvellous player, a great player for us. Just this nonsense he's got in his head, and he must. I don't know what you guys think. You can maybe tell me. I think he's massively overweight, and I don't know how he's managed to get that far, but I think he's massively overweight. And it's not
stuffed in his pie hole, mate. That's how he got that size.
It's not very becoming of him. As a professional footballer, you've got a level to go up. Very few footballers could go over half a stone overweight. It takes forever to get rid of half a stone. And if he's a stone overweight or more, my goodness gracious.
You can come back for an injury unfit. That's fair enough. But you don't have to come back for an injury overweight. I mean, you need to watch what you're eating, especially when you're not training.
Goodness, yeah.
But he's just shoveling stuff down his pie hole and getting bigger. I mean, he must have seen he was getting bigger. You're saying you've no way of getting it off because you can't train at the moment. So you need to be super careful. But no, it's unprofessional. It's just totally and utterly unprofessional.
I agree with you there, pal.
I think he should be further down the track now. I mean, it's nearly 2 weeks since the Hibs game. What is that? It was a week on Saturday, so we're now Wednesday. We're 11 days away from it. Intensive work. It should be in a better place now, obviously. There's game sharpness that you talk about, Billy, about fitness. Intensive training. You can come a long way in 11 days.
That's right, mate. I said that about the Hibs game. I think one of the callers had come on and they spoke about Morelos and that wee Alfie boy. And I said then he looked about 3 weeks away for anywhere near getting ready to come back, just with the condition he was in. So when you take the 2 weeks into consideration, 11 days or whatever the case may be, mate, and then he's not had any game time and amongst that, so you could maybe push another week onto that Oxford, because you'll need to you'll need to get fit again.
I've got him on the bench on Saturday, mate. I have.
I've got him at Weight Watchers.
Only because What was that? What was that? Albert, I missed that.
See, I've got him at Weight Watchers on Saturday.
Look, I have to say, Oxford, can I just say that would be in my mind all the time. That's what Morelos should have been working towards. To get on the bench for the Celtic game. That's what he should have been working towards. Now, I've not seen him. I don't know if any of you guys have seen him lately. In the training and all that. So I know the manager said something tonight that he was quite happy with him and so on and so forth. And he's been training, so that might make a difference. But if he's still a bit overweight, sorry, he needs to be 100%. Seriously, he needs to be 100%. I'd love him on the bench.
Would you have him on the bench, Albert? Right?
No.
Just because you don't want to be sitting around the bench with him.
Maybe let's see, so one way. But don't get me wrong, if he's fit, of course you want him on the bench. You want him on a party if he's fit and ready to go. But he's not even near it. You know he's not ready. No, obviously not. But I'm talking about in normal circumstances, if he'd come back and unweight and just unfit. He'd have been playing weeks ago. Weeks ago he'd have been playing, but he didn't come back overweight. So if he'd have come back properly, got his fitness, he'd have been playing on Saturday. He'd have been playing on Saturday. So look at that. The argument with Drampton Cholak wouldn't have come into it. But the fact now Cholak is scoring, he's here and he is scoring. There's no contender there. Cholak starts.
I agree at the moment, but I just think there's a place for Alfie on the bench, and my rationale is only because of the 9 subs, Billy. That's it.
Aye, listen, I see you're thinking on, mate, because if Alfie's on the bench, it keeps him guessing as well, doesn't it? It keeps him guessing, has he got to come on? Is he fit? Is he no fit? Why is he on the bench? Is the reason on the bench because but they're got to use him at some point in the game, or blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? So I can see your thinking there, Ox. So listen, you'll probably be right. You probably will be on the bench of with the 9 substitutes, mate. So I think you'll not be on the bench, mate. But as we say in the show many occasions, mate, it's all about opinions, and there's every chance you could be on the bench now. Now you think about it, solely for that reason, buddy.
Big Ears scored the same amount of goals, so Big Ears got a shout for the bench then.
No, after Giovanni's listening to you talk about him earlier on, he's no.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to see what happens with Morelos. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's a certainty to be on the bench, Bridge, but if I was picking him and he's on his way back and he's done his training for the last 10 days and he's good to go, I'm not saying he's match fit, but I would still have him on the bench for if you needed him for 15 minutes or something like that, only because of the 9 substitutes you can have.
Yeah, that's a tremendous thought process. Look, that's the position he was in for the Hibs game, and now it's just he's set himself back. Is
the suspension up, Ox?
That's just up now.
Aye.
He's available for this game, but that's a couple of games he's lost out on, including the Hibs game. By the way, he was only on the pitch a couple of minutes and he was off. So I just hope that he is okay and the manager's happy with him and the trainers, coaches are happy with him, and we can get him back in some way, because there's nothing better than being on the park, and as long as you're doing things and not make yourself look silly and ridiculous. And that's what we need. But I just need him. He needs to lose a lot of weight, and that's the way I saw him. I think he needs to lose a lot of weight. So let's hope he's done that in a short period. Which, if he has, well done to him. Welcome back.
I'm sure the debate will build up as the week goes on, Billy.
Aye, that's right, mate. I mean, well, listen, we can lose the weight. If racehorse jockeys can sit in a sauna and drop a stain in so many days, I'm sure they'll be able to do it for a wee Alfie boy. Ox, you know what I mean? So, aye, I'll be up for debate, mate. Listen, we all want a fit and healthy Alfredo on our team, you know what I mean?
It's the horse that runs, no, the jockey.
Aye, but the jockey's got to guide it. Aye, mate, listen, as I said, a fit and healthy Alfredo is definitely a huge plus point for our team, mate. And it would be brilliant. It's great that if you've got a fit and healthy Alfredo sitting there and you've got Kolac's banging in the goals, so the two of them's pushing each other, mate, and that's what we're wanting. And as I said before, you can either have the option of playing the two of them up top there, you know what I mean? But that's for another debate. But regarding the system, playing one of them up there, mate, it's healthy for the two of them, and it keeps the base strikers on their toes.
All right, aye. Well, gentlemen, we're getting close to that time of the evening, but it's been good tonight. Enjoyed it all, but you feel better now you've had your bit of counselling?
A bit of relief I've had, aye. I'm happy now. I'll get to sleep tonight now.
Can't sleep.
Well, we've been told it's Cholak.
Cholak.
With enough trouble with Tavernier. Anyway, well, Cholak. Right, okay, well, Cholak will be playing on Saturday, that's a certainty. Billy, thanks for your contribution tonight, mate. Good to hear from you as always, but I think you're wrong about that John McGregor one, mate.
Well, only time will tell, mate. Yeah, listen, before the show finishes, mate, I had a wee dig about some prices there, and 4-1 to the Rangers on Saturday is a massive 8-1, and Kolach or whatever you want to call him for the first goal. Cholach for the first goal and a 4-1 victory for the Rangers is a massive 325-1. So I'm hearing some of that, mate, because stranger things have happened.
Talking about that, that's Southside Super 6. He's getting worse. Anyway, but that's a whole other show.
I hope he's listening, because you'll pick the same as me.
Right, okay. Good to hear from you, Billy.
No bother, mate.
Good to hear from you, Albert.
Cheers, mate.
Over to you, Bridge.
Oh, what can I say? Well, marvellous night. Really good discussions tonight, and great company to enjoy the talk. And can I just say, for all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Ranger fans on here on Rangers Radio, just everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because we are the people. Keep it going.
Thanks to Billy, Albert, and all the callers that called in tonight. The Billies and the boys that we never... Sorry, I never wrote down the names tonight, but all the boys that called in tonight, thanks very much. Enjoyed all the calls. The passion was starting to creep in. We'll put it as passion. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good to hear from you all. We're buzzing, as always. Bridgeman, thanks as usual, mate. Cheers, brah. And thanks to Fox and All Schoolboy for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking all things Rangers. We'll be joined by Linda and the one and only Big Stevie. Thanks for listening. Speak to you tomorrow night. Take it away, All Schoolboy.
Sure, I was dreaming of old Ibrox, of her slopes and great grandstands, and I dreamed about the Rangers, the best team in the land. When my memory suggested of a vision bright and clear, of the strange things that would happen if we had the Rangers here. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Ryan Laudrup came from Sandy Road, and Alistair Price came from East Belfast, and old Belfast became then old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, sure no green flags at that game, they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roam, and all the boys would stay at home. If we only had the Rangers over here. I dreamed about her Ulster men who wore the shirt of blue, Bertie Mander and Sam English, Laurie Hamilton, McCandless too. I have dreamed of Whitey McDonald, who came from Lisburn town, and the greatest, Billy Simpson, who never let them down. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Brian Laudrup came from Sandy Road, and Ali McCoist came from East Belfast, and then old Belfast became old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, then no green flags at that game, they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had Glasgow Rangers over here.